Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. We have another episode in our Quantum Conversations Summit Series, Timelines, Creating the Highest Benevolent Outcomes. My guest today is a beautiful, powerful soul. She is a quantum ascension specialist. Raquel Spencer is here to share with us more on this notion of timelines and how to live beyond the limitation of timelines so that we experience the spherical, eternal now. Raquel, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see you again.
It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I love being on your show. It seems like a long time again since I've been here. So great to be doing this.
6 months at least. And so I love the space that you bring, the energy that you bring. Everyone can feel that. We have a long history. You are a catalyst. You've been a catalyst in my life. And what I love about this image today that you are on our screen is this violet flame. And so as we're talking about timelines, the violet flame, as we know, is essential for redistributing or correcting any timelines that we may feel unconscious about or not feeling good about. Like if we showed up somewhere, we don't feel good about it. So thank you for bringing the violet flame into this conversation.
Well, and it's interesting because my definition of the violet flame is very different than yours. So
it is.
That's a place we could jump off, but we got to stay focused.
Stay focused. And so everyone, please know that Raquel is, again, this catalyst. She comes in my life, she came in a little sideways in a gentle but really powerful way that really shook up my world. And so in a positive way, in a great way, in a growth and expansive way. So get ready, because this conversation today may do something similar. And so Raquel, let's talk about timelines. We're going to be talking about timelines and how we can move and be on something positive. But as we are discovering, there comes a point where we're going to be liberated from timelines. Can you share more on the title of this, How to Live Beyond the Limitations of Timelines?
Well, it goes back to, we all know that time doesn't exist. It only happens in this lower binary holographic inverted reality we're living in. And we're still in it. We're absolutely still in it. I'm not going to tell you we're not in it, but we're also starting to move beyond it. And that's a lot of people talk about that in new ways, whether it's the new earth or whatever that is, right? But timelines, in my humble opinion, man, we'd need to get, time is a 4-letter word, and I don't know what to replace it with yet. And love's a 4-letter word too. So,
Free.
But free is a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
What? But when we talk about, where everybody's always talking about jumping timelines or moving on to new timelines, or, what I really, it would be interesting to hear everybody's definition of what is a timeline.
Yeah.
Because your definition and my definition may be very different, right? When we think about linear time that we are still encased in this binary deep dive, right? We live in a linear. We have the past, we have the present now, and we have the future. And timelines, just the actual word of that, it makes us think, okay, we're going to go back in time, or we're going to go forward in time, or I'm in a certain time. And as we continue on this process of ascension, you begin to understand that it's all quantum and it's all happening simultaneously. So at the same time or in the present moment. And our brains just, how do you deal with that, right? But as we continue to unlock from timelines that exist in the lower binary inverted magnetic that we're still playing in, as you continue to unlock from that, you move into higher expressions, non-linear expressions, right? And so when we talk about, let's get into a new timeline, let's get into the timeline of the new earth, that really is still looking outside of yourself and that there's something out there to go move towards. You know what? And it's so funny because how many times have we been told, because it seems selfish, you are not the center of your universe. Well, guess what? You're the center of your universe. You are. And everything in your awakening process has to come from within. And we put names and things so that we can make a reference point, right? When we talk about a timeline, it's a reference point because we don't want to be on this wavelength anymore. We want to be on a different one. We want to jump to a higher wavelength. But it's nothing out there. It's always about how you are unlocking your body intelligence and technology to perceive differently. Right? So let's get out of talking about, I want to be on a higher timeline. What you, in my humble opinion, what you're trying to do is unlock your intelligence, your body consciousness, your awareness, your perceptions. And I've been saying this since since you and I met. The awakening is about getting light into your cellular, into your physical body. And if you've been listening to your series and your work, Lauren, everybody's talking about how we're moving from carbon-based to crystalline, right? That's another thing that we're talking about. But as you literally embody more light, it changes your perception. So I could be sitting in the exact same spot I've always sat in throughout my entire life. And if my light quotient is higher, what I'm perceiving around me will be very different. You and I can be sitting in the exact same location, and what I perceive and you perceive could be very different based upon where your body is in the ascension process. So timelines, to me, again, they're a concept, which is, it helps people think, ooh, I want to change my outcome. I want to change where I end up. I want to be on a different timeline. But that only takes place inside. Take another breath with that. You can only change your perceptions and your outcomes based upon what's going on inside your own physical and energetic templates of light. So it's a good notion, and it's the intention that I want to stick with, right? The intention is, I want to be on I want to have a different outcome. So the way we've phrased it in the past has been, let's jump onto, higher timeline. But if we really break that down, what you're doing is you're changing your own inner dynamic and your own inner functionality and your own inner magnetics. That then creates the perceived reality around you, because we are electromagnetic beings of light. Let me state that again. That's not sexy. And I've said this 1,000 times before. It's not sexy, right? But we are electromagnetic beings of light. And it is about the frequency and the magnetics that we broadcast that creates the world around us and what we see into that world. Okay, let's go back to that. Everything that is showing up in your reality and you're perceived out there, whether you're doing a timeline jump, or you're getting that benevolent outcome, or you're getting what you want, is solely based on what you are broadcasting from your bodysuit, your physicality, and your light body. Okay. Why am I getting a thumbs up on that? AI technology drives me crazy.
Who wanted that? I did not want
I
that.
did not vote for that either. So, the technologies of timeline jumping, or looking for how do I get on the best timeline, it always goes back to the inner journey, because there's nothing out there, right? There's nothing out there. And that is that's hard to swallow. And yet we all know it's real. And yet we know this is a hologram. And I mean, when we start putting the technical pieces together, oh, okay, that does kind of make sense in the science that we know. And there's so much we still don't know, right? And I don't claim to be a scientific at all. Right. I can't tell you the first thing about quantum physics, yet I'm a quantum ascension specialist, because I specialize in helping your body move through the limitations of this binary holographic reality that we're in, that we are unlocking, to raise your frequency so that the outcome that you have is one that you want. Right. And it's the outcomes. And we go back to, but my outer reality isn't what I want it to be at all. I mean, I can hear, no, you create your reality. No, this isn't the reality I created. I don't want to be in this. I mean, we can hear all of that, right? From all of us who have tried over and over and over again to jump onto that timeline, or wishful think our way into a higher frequency. But that's not really how the mechanics work. And so if there is a reoccurring thing showing up in your reality that you don't want anymore, you have to look here. You have to look inside. What magnetic am I sending out? And more importantly, why? Okay. Because as spiritual beings, and in the reality that we have been subject to, in the spiritual reality, and it's everything is supposed to be blissful and beautiful, and if you're doing it right, you're just in a state of joy all the time, which is there is truth in that. But we also came in, this is a very unique lifetime. And I think all of us know that on some level. Don't you? Don't you know that this lifetime is not like the last one you were here? Right? It's not.
We are doing a lot of work, a lot of cleanup. It's a huge cleanup.
It is. And so I'm glad that you use that word, cleanup, because if it's showing up in your outer reality and you're like, I don't, and I'm not talking about the bigger stage right now. I'm talking let's just go into our little worlds, right? Forget the world stage, but just, man, I want to have this show up, or I want to have that show up. Or why does that keep showing up when it's not really what I know that I want? And that is a magnetic. Okay. I'm talking about your sphere, right? Because that's where, most people really want to be, in their own sphere. My life. I know I can't do anything about the war that's going on halfway around the world. I just want to control my life. And yet, You are a fractal of the whole. So everything that you do affects the totality of it all. That's a mind blower too. But that also gives us understanding of why I didn't want that one thing to keep showing it. Why do I have to go through all these relationships? Why do I have to get married 3 or 4 times? Or why do I have to, why is this showing up? Why can't I get financially secure? Right. And then you can go into recognizing that that's a magnetic you're sending out, but it may not be your individual experience. It may be your collective responsibility and experience. Because I talk about, and you've talked about, and I'm sure many others have, we're here in a collective ascension. And so this lifetime is not really so much about our individual experience. It's our individual journey because it has to be an inside job, but it's not here to let's just play in my own little sphere, my own little family, be happy. We are here to change the world. And so we came in with bigger contracts and bigger things that we're participating in the cleanup portion of. And so when you have things that continue to show up over and over and over again, and you think you've done the work, you have to look at the bigger collective. What am I holding as a collective player that I agreed to help clear? Right? And then it's the inner journey that helps unlock those bigger containers. And the problem is with all well, I want to jump to that higher time alignment and I just want to be in bliss. We don't control the bigger containers. We're just part of them. Take a breath with that. Take a breath with that.
So
So yeah.
it's really how we show up and respond in our world to the collective.
And it's actually asking the question. If this is showing up in my life over and over again, do I have a part in helping clear the collective container? And have I done the inner work on a conscious level to clear that collective container? Right? And in truth, we're all works in progress. Nobody's perfect. Some bit off bigger hunks and chunks than others, right? You and I know our generation, and we're very close, similar in age. Man, we came in to do the heavy lifting. It's not the same for the 20-year-olds. It's not the same for the 10-year-olds. But those of us, and we've continued to come up against, everybody said we should be able to have this blissful and manifest this, and we can't. Why can't I get that too? What's wrong with me? Right?
Ah,
Oh, the AI. Oh my goodness.
you know,
That was kind of fun. That was really kind of fun.
that was really fascinating. That happened to William Linville as well. And it was like, wow, what happened? Okay.
Now,
It's magic. That is magic.
that's the magic. We're telling you the magic. I love it. Um, but it is about the bigger journey that we're on, and those of us, and not all of your audience is of the age we are. There's, a full gamut, but definitely if you are part of the crew that you and I belong to, those of us in our 50s and 60s and even older, we really came in to clean up big collective containers. And a lot of us have had that hit our head upon the wall. Why can't I just get that? Why is money so elusive? Why can't I have that really great relationship? Why, when we've done all the programs, right? Oh, but I'm doing what X, Y, and Z says to do, but I'm not getting that result. And a lot of it is because we're also collective players in this ascension process. And we came in to clean up a lot of the distortions as collective players. And many have missed that awareness. It hasn't come into their understanding of who they are as a collective player, of who they are as part of the team that came in. And so you constantly keep going around going, why? It's not working for me. Why isn't it working for me? Because you haven't looked inward and done the clearing for the collective levels that you may be holding as well. And I can guarantee you the collective levels are amplified stronger in your fields because we are here to take down huge containers. And when I say containers, let me tap into that a bit more. Okay. And I know that I don't know where your audience will be on this, so I'll try to do it kind of overall. But in this binary magnetic holographic reality we're living in, which has been going on since before this civilization, right? This deep dive into separation and duality. We can all agree that that's where we've been. And we're moving out of that. We talk about the new earth. There is no new earth. There's just earth unlocked, in my humble opinion. It is the same, her just unlocked from the lower magnetics. And again, I first stated we are bioelectrical, biomagnetic beings of light. We overlay on her magnetic. Okay. The new earth, in my humble perspective, it's not a duplicate of her. It is her unlocked. It is her frequencies freed from the binary inverted holographic templates, and they're templates of light. They are absolutely templates of light. They're just vibrating in a very different frequency band. Okay. This was all created from source. Even all the horrific things that we judge here, it's all from source. We created the deep dive to experience separation and duality, right? And the more we can move out of the victimhood mentality and just know, nope, we're here clearing it up because we're ready for another game. Let's go. And I say game only because that keeps it light. There's lots of horrific things. And again, remember that this human body that we are in is the most advanced emotional light body we've ever designed in the deep dive. So the emotions and the way that we have to move through our mastery past the emotions to get into that state of neutrality and unconditional love for everything and everyone that is playing out in this deep dive, right? We had to even up it a little bit more. Let's not just do the normal. Let's make it the most emotional as well, because all we have to do is look at the horrendous things that have happened on this planet. Whoop, I lose it. I can't go there. I have to stay wow, we played out, but the beauty is we're done. And so as a concept of timeline and the most benevolent, many people haven't looked at the collective roles they're here to play to help unlock all the distortions. And that may be why, and I can almost guarantee why, the things that they are, putting in their awareness, imagining, putting out, setting out, but I'm setting it out from my heart. This is what I want. There's a matching magnetic in your field that you haven't cleared either from an individual or from a collective standpoint. And so when you go back and do that inner work of clearing that magnetic, because it is a magnetic, which is part of your quantum field, because that magnetic is in your field, it attracts it in your outer reality. It's physics. It's a matching. So you clear this inside, that matching doesn't show up anymore. There's nothing for it to feed on. And that goes to the same concept of why we're unlocking the magnetics of the planet, because as we unlock it, there's nothing for these holographic things to play and to hold on to anymore. There's nothing for the program to run on. And it's the same thing on the inner. When we clear up that magnetic, there's nothing being sent out for it to reflect back. And instead, we start to reflect the higher frequencies is what we really want. So it's not again that, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing it right, what's wrong with me, which is where most people go. How come I can't do it like X, Y, and Z person? What's wrong with me? Right? There's always that inner blame. There's something wrong with me. And it's not that there's something wrong. It may be that you're holding a bigger piece of the experience of the ascension for the collective, and you need to go look there to clear. Or there's something hiding in the subconscious that you haven't gotten to yet. There's no judgment, but if it's not showing up out there yet, there's work in here to do. There's work in here to do. And that's not a judgment. Some of us just said, we raised our hands and said, oh yeah, we helped set that up. We'll go in and help clean it up. That's what we're here. We need to do that, right? Instead of judging yourself, which is the first thing the ego wants to do to keep us small and think we're not good enough. You know, I talk about, and many talk about the ego, and that even concept is so distorted, right? Because we think of an ego, we think of a big inflated one. Well, the ego is just an even more powerful to keep us thinking we're small and not good enough. And that's even a harder one to get through, especially when you didn't even realize you needed to look. It's a matching magnetic, but I've tried to visualize, and I've put it out there, and I've asked, and I've written it down, and I've sat in meditation, and I've envisioned, and I've asked for it. Why doesn't it work for me? It's the magnetic. You have a magnetic in your field that is wanting to get your attention to help you clear it for yourself and perhaps even the bigger collective, which is what this lifetime for many of us is all about anyways. It's not about, how much fun can we have? Believe me, we're going to get there, and it's going to be blissful and joyful once we unlock all of this, but we're still unlocking, right? We're still unlocking the distortions around, and that's our jobs. And you go, why did we sign up for it? Because we love humanity. We love life. We always have. It is our eternal love for life why we all raised our hands. And we were the ones who helped set it up. So of course we're the specialists to come back and take it apart.
I love letting you talk because you have answered questions that had come up, like, what do we do? Where do we begin? And this is a huge task that we are on. And it is so comforting, Raquel. It is so comforting to know that we are not broken. There's nothing to fix. Nothing's wrong with us. That what we're feeling or what we're sensing is simply that call. And in our outer reality, if we don't see it, if what we want, then it's just, again, that call to come inward. And so as we come inward, wow, are we tracking emotions? Is it the emotions that are the magnetics, false belief systems, thought forms? So much.
Yes, and. Yes, and, right? Our belief systems are a big part of it. Our belief systems are definitely hooked into the binary magnetic, right? So again, let me step back a little bit more. And I know this is, we want to learn how to manifest things in our lives, right? That's what really the ultimate is, but also understanding the bigger picture of why we're really here.
Yeah.
And by doing the bigger picture and doing the deeper work, the outer reality shows up the way we want it to, right? So it's kind of a backwards approach of really understanding the bigger picture of this ascension and the mechanics of it and the belief systems, the mind control programs. We all hate to say that. Oh no, I'm my sovereign being. Yes, we're stepping back into our sovereignty. This is what we're doing. And the more we do the inner work of unlocking the lower magnetics and the templates of light that we hold for a collective and for ourselves, the more we step into that sovereignty, which is what we all want. And as we step into that sovereignty, the heaviness of the binary magnetics that have been playing out, they start to release. And the fun and the silly and the bliss have more space within our reality. But we have to unlock all the lower magnetics so that those binary that are still, we're unlocking. But as we keep pace with the planet herself, which is definitely very much underway of unlocking from the binary and anchoring in what we refer to as the tri-wave, the Trinity wave, the unity consciousness wave levels, right? It is a magnetic. It is literally a magnetic, which is has been in a state of distortion since the fall. And so as we overlay and these magnetics and we clear our own magnetics and what we agreed to hold and what we agreed to clear, then those lower mind control, those lower belief systems are able to unlock. And we move into those higher frequencies of the bliss because there isn't the magnetic that is locked into our fields. Now, we have to walk through the world. We have to do this as remembering our mastery and walk through this world while anchoring and clearing all of this. Something we've never done before. So, hello, it's quite a journey. But the beauty of it is that we have unlocked the amount we have unlocked since you and I met over 12 years ago is mind-blowing. And the level of the bliss and the beauty and the seeing the new reality, the seeing the new reality, because it's your perception. It's what frequency band are you actually seeing through your eyes? It's not, in my humble opinion, it's not, oh, we're going to split apart. The split apart is the bifurcation of what frequency band you see.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on the same planet. It's just at a different vibratory level, right? There were a lot in the beginning when we first met. There was still a lot of, oh, there's going to be two Earths and they're going to be, well, some of us are going to live on one and some of us are going to live on another. And we thought it was real physical planetary bodies. It's not, it's our perception. It's how we perceive the world.
Okay.
Right? And you're like, well, what do you mean? I love to go back to, I'm a movie buff. I like to watch movies. Do you like to watch movies? Are
Oh
you
yeah.
a person?
Yes.
One recently that was just so cute. Well, not cute. It wasn't cute, but it just was like, well, that's what I want to tell him. That's what I'm talking about. Nicolas Cage in National Treasure and the glasses. When he looks at the map and how when you move up this lens, you see a whole different thing that wasn't there before. And you lift or you put down this one and there's a whole different level you never saw before. It's the same idea. You and I can be sitting and seeing a completely different world than the neighbor across the street is experiencing. But it's all because of what we're doing within. And so the timeline jumping isn't out there. Never has been. It's here. And it's unlocking the magnetics that keep us looking at that lower frequency band, or only having access to the lower frequency band. And the outer reality things that are showing up are the clues. And what happens in our body are the clues to help us pinpoint, there's a lower, I'm feeling pain in this part of my body. Ooh, how come? Our body is brilliant. Even in its distorted lockdown state, it's still way beyond brilliant of what we even know, right? And can you imagine, as we continue to unlock from the lower magnetics, how the whole body shifts, and then our perception and what shows up in our outer reality shifts as well. So it's all back to an inner job, an inner, because this dictates what you see outside of yourself, the holographic reality that we see and that we have access to, the vibratory frequencies. And those vibratory frequencies, it's all about the embodiment. And you can't embody into a higher frequency if you're locked into, we go in steps, we go in different, we can feel the bump. And a lot of people would call that a shift in the timeline, that bump in frequency, because that's really what it is. It is your increase in frequency that now changes what you're sending out into the quantum field, that then reflects back as your reality. So in truth, the raising of your frequency is that jump in the timeline. Okay. And so as a quantum being, we start to move beyond, that timeline or that frequency band, and start to realize we have access to all of it. And more importantly, we're here to clear all of it. Yikes, right? Yikes. Oh, wait a minute. I just came to have fun. Well, yeah, okay.
You're making it, it's almost as if we should see it as a fun thing to do.
It is a fun thing to do.
Now I'm ready to, okay, now I'm like ready to go that deep dive. And it's the emotions that come up, and my questions are like, okay, so how do we know when we've got magnetics to clear? How do we know? So like, if we're feeling like a pity party for ourselves, that's how we know we've got to unlock from those magnetics. So
Yes.
what do you do? How do you shift your perspective to do that cleanup work? We're literally tracing something within our bodies. What are we doing within our bodies that elevates us? Are we just processing that emotion that comes up and remembering source light? And how do we add more light quotient to our body? These are all the questions that are arising from our conversation.
Right.
It's
And
fascinating, fun.
and to, to understand, well, it's, and again, I want to stress and put into the field of your awareness right now to remember you're not human. You're not human.
I want to fly when I contemplate that one.
You're just in a human body having a human experience, but you're a vast quantum being of light. And it is from that state of understanding you're so much more than this human experience, this one very unique lifetime we are in, that we perceivably, this is all there is. For so many people on this planet, they really believe this is all there is, this one existence. At least we know that's not true. If you're listening to your show, you know that's not true, right? And it goes beyond, oh, just reincarnation. We understand we are divine beings of light. We are eternal. We are fractals of source. We are the divine that happened to come in and embody this time, but we've got many other lifetimes in many other bodysuits across this multiverse. Do not be in illusion at all. We have had many, many experiences. Okay. And so to step out, and again, I've said this before on many shows because it's the one I go back to that is the easiest for me to get out of my emotional way as a little human and all the victimizer. Okay. And because I love movies, just like I said, I look at all of this as character roles in a massive movie. Oh, I want to play that role. And I want to play, oh, I want to be the bad guy over here. Oh, no, I want to play the role of the princess. Oh, no, I want to play the role of the wise man. Oh, no, I want to play the bad guy over here, right? We went into all of these character roles throughout this deep dive in separation and in the organic as well, right? But in this deep dive, and we played all of these incredible characters so well that we forgot that they were just characters. Brad Pitt puts down his character role and goes back to being Brad Pitt, right? I'm trying to think of Nicolas Cage. I mean, all these actors, they do the role. Sometimes they get really deep into it. I mean, we know actors that live it 24/7. And then when they're done with their role, they go back to being themselves, maybe take an aspect a little bit, but they're just taking on these character roles. We are source energy, just having taken on these character roles, right? So when you can realize, oh my gosh, I'm here. I'm source energy. I always have been. There's no way that that could be not true. There is no way that could not be true. Did you hear me? Everybody listening, you are source. There is no way you could be anything else. That has taken on all these amazing character roles so that we could have this deep dive into separation. And this lifetime is unique because it's wrap up time. All the movies are done. We're done. We're going to pack up and go on to the next expression. We've thought of something much different. We're done with this one, right? We're moving into the next expression, which takes us back into the organic. This was a deep dive out of the organic. And so when you understand that and think, wow, think of all the characters, you can start to move out of that victimhood. I've played every role. Maybe I've been good, better, more times than I've been bad, but who wouldn't want to play the villain? That's fun. It's good to see what that feels like. You have to come at it. It helps move it out of that pain body and that emotional body to recognize it was just character roles. And now each one of those character roles, we need to clear and bring back into wholeness. We've left a piece of ourselves out there. It's a part of us. It's a part of our own unique signature frequency that we are re-embodying. And the emotions and the things that show up in our body right now are clues. They're clues. And sometimes you don't have to even know where it's coming from. You have to set the intention to clear it back into 0 point neutrality first, just into a neutral state, not charged either way. Bring it back to neutral. And then from a space of divine love, ask that that be cleared throughout all levels of the distorted game, every nook and cranny, every set, every prop, everything, right? I mean, I'm trying to take it back to that movie metaphor, right? And all the ways we've played out. And there's been thousands and hundreds of thousands. But this lifetime, we're here to clean it up. Sweep, sweep, sweep. All right, let's clear it. I get really emotional with that. Do I need to deep dive and process it? My idea of processing may not be the same as yours. I want to clear it throughout all space time. The distorted reality, anywhere that it's held within that inverted matrix, clear it back to neutral. Take all of the magnetic charge that was playing out on that binary wavelength and magnetics, get it back to neutral. That magnetic charge, get it back to neutral as a way to get out of the emotion and understand the mechanics of what you're really doing. Yes, is it full of emotion? Woo, we have to master. We decided we wanted to master the most, advanced emotional body and do this too. Heck, we couldn't do this just, super easy. We needed to challenge ourselves even more because, we get bored. And we know we're masters before we came in. Of course we can handle all this, right? I'm not trying to be egotistical, just trying to get you a reference point. Of course we knew we could do this or we wouldn't have set it up to come in and unlock it. We gave ourselves everything we need. It's all already within you to do this job of unlocking and bringing it all back into the organic. It's all within, always has been. So that timeline jump is a frequency shift, and it's because you have cleared your vehicle enough for the perception and the magnetic that you're now sending out to not be as binary, but more aligned to the new tri-wave, to the organic. Okay, so as you go through and, oh man, why does this keep showing up? You drop in and you ask to have that cleared throughout any expression, throughout this deep dive. And I'm talking not just this planet, I'm talking everywhere. Anywhere we have been in this inverted deep dive of separation. That's a lot of lifetimes. So it may not happen the first time and the second time. You might have to work on this a few times. That's a big, tall order, but we did not send in a team that was not capable of doing the work to unlock all of this for ourselves and all of humanity, all life, actually, all life throughout the multiverse. And yes, let's just focus on planet Earth. That's enough, right? But we didn't send in a team that wasn't capable. So having the awareness and putting it into a perspective of, oh, I'm sending out this magnetic because of something I hold in my quantum field that is matching and bringing this result that is not my desire. And it may not have anything to do with this lifetime. And so you think about that and you come back and you start acting like the quantum being that you are instead of a little teeny human that you think you are, right? You start coming at this from a quantum perspective and realizing if it's showing up out there, it's because I still hold something in my magnetic field that's matching. And it's not because I'm not good enough. And it's actually quite the opposite. Right? It's because I am a master that might still, other people, oh, I just want to have perfect, they may not have come in with the same level that you did. And I'm not trying to discount those that came after. We just came in with a pretty big cleanup job. And I'm talking again to maybe a little bit more of your older audience, because I think we're the ones that struggle even more because we're in this archaic bodysuit. We came in deeper grids. We came in with more collective containers than the 20 and 30-year-olds are even holding. And we did that because we knew we could come in and get the job done. So shifting that perception and recognizing that you already are a master, get out of the humanness, recognize your quantum abilities, recognize that it's just a magnetic, it's not personal, really. Get out of it personalizing it. That's a victimhood, and that's another, beautiful thing we're unraveling. Add the that's a huge collective mind control container, right? So every part that you do affects the whole. I've
Mm.
talked, sorry.
You have helped us shift in this conversation. The answers that you've provided to those questions, I actually was tracing back certain things in my own life and actually in the collective, and I'm seeing my role for the collective. And this notion of neutrality, bring it all back into neutrality. That it's easier said than done, but that really is as simple as it is. And I can sense that some would say, oh, it's such a cop out, but it's not a cop out. We're not bypassing any emotion or feeling. We're not bypassing anything. We're actually processing it into neutrality. And so that's going to take a little bit of skill for people along the way to go into exactly how they do that in all situations. But I'm actually pretty excited about it right now. Again, I'm thinking, and I know others are, we're sitting here listening to you and we're thinking of applying this, how we apply it in our life. And we're there and we're feeling energized because we got this. And we do remember raising our hand high saying, oh, you're right on the other side. It was like, well, that's a no-brainer. We can do that. And then getting here, we forget. And then in the heat of the moment, we forget. But coming back to the neutrality, it's being very present. So I love this notion of timelines. It's a timeline frequency shift. It's a frequency shift within us. And so you're going to tell us about a way that people can join you, because we're going to go deeper in a live webinar with you, that you go much deeper into this. And so what do you do in your life? Can you give us an example of, like, you're human, you've been at this wonderful work and you're a master at it. I would say you're already a master at it. When I first met you, wow, I would witness you and you were a master. Do you have a quick protocol? I know nothing's quick, but you did mention a little bit. Is there something that you do when your humanness comes out? Do you catch yourself?
You have to catch yourself. And that is really essential, because it's that awareness, catching yourself in the moment, right?
Mhm.
When you are in that experience of being triggered, right?
Mhm.
And I really want to emphasize for people, start thinking of yourself as a quantum being. We are so programmed to think, well, we are deliberately programmed, and we have been since the beginning of this civilization. We have been taught over and over that we are nothing. We really have. It's in the collective fields, right? So to shift yourself from just thinking that you're just another human on the planet and really understand your quantum nature. You are a quantum being, you are eternal. Energy from source can never be, you are eternal. You just happen to be putting a drop of yourself in this human form animated to bring your mastery in more and more and more. So it goes drops to gallons to fully filling your body with your brilliance and your mastery. But the first thing is to be present and catch yourself in the moment. Anytime you get in those emotional, right? When you're in that emotion, and now we're not even talking about trying to do timelines and get things to show up in your life. Although this is the main thing that does it. It is that stopping in that moment, clearing. I always bring my hand, first thing I do, bring my hand to my high heart. And I've said this since the beginning when you and I first met. Your high heart is your own personal stargate. It is your connection to the divine. It's not necessarily your head. The head it's don't get me wrong, the mind is important, but we're still operating from the lower mind. We are not operating from the higher mind yet. And so to tactile, put your hand on your heart, put it right here, stop yourself. And we do this a lot too when we get emotional. Oh, because we feel it so deeply through here. But you stop yourself right here when you start going off on those emotional triggers, and you get yourself present. And I am not this human emotional being at my core. This is just a character role I'm playing. And I'm going to shift the way I respond because it's not who I am. And you stop yourself and you go back into that neutrality. And once you go into that neutrality, then you can lift it into unconditional love. But it's very hard to go from an emotional trigger on the negative into unconditional love. You have to bring it back to neutral first and just kind of sit there. Whew, okay, whoa, right? Just get that. And it is the magnetic charge that you are trying to neutralize in your quantum field when you do that. And that's that's the quickest way. It gets you present. It gets you back in your high heart where you should be focusing. Oh, wait, I'm quantum. Oh, I'm quantum. Ooh, that almost got me. It almost got me again. Look at this matrix reality hologram we're down in. This is ridiculous, right? And I have to laugh at myself and come back into my presence and recognize I am already a quantum master of light here, unlocking all of this for all of humanity. And we're a huge team here. And everything that we do matters to the collective whole of unlocking it. So don't negate that you're just one person. Don't think you're wrong because it hasn't shown up. You just might have bitten off a bigger container to help clear.
Okay.
And remember that you're not this human. You're not. Just the character role.
You make us feel so good. We are flying high. We are. You make us feel so good. The remembrance of us as a quantum being of light. I hope that everyone takes a sticky note or somehow marks that down, inscript it on your heart. We are a quantum being of light. That is really powerful. And if that's all people do is take that little tidbit, that's a great job. Well done, Master Raquel. Thank you for that. Wow.
Everyone's a master. Everyone here is a master. I'm just trying to help you remember.
Yes, it
Sit
feels
with
so good.
it.
Wow. Okay. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this. Again, I feel great. I'm not the only one. Others are feeling great. We're feeling empowered and actually a little excited to go do some of this clearing work now. Let's go dive deep and dig a little deeper into those emotions and neutralize them and watch what happens in our outer reality. And thank you in advance to everyone doing this heavy lifting and the heavy clearing work, because we got this. We really do. So Raquel, thank you. I want to have you share on the course that you're going to be teaching. It's a webinar, and this is exciting
We're
because
gonna,
we're going deeper in this.
yeah, we're going to go deeper, and I'm going to actually walk you through the process of how to clear and neutralize from the quantum perspective, right? Uh, Neutralize from things that you can't even pinpoint, right? And again, the emotion is a clue, the body is the map, quite frankly, um, of how to find where the magnetics are off and be able to clear it without having to know the detail. and without having to reprocess that pain and that emotion that might be tied to it. As you said, many people say, oh, you're bypassing the real work. No, we're taking a direct route. We're taking one that doesn't cause more pain. We've had enough of that. And there is, sometimes we have to kind of go straight through it, but a lot of times we can go straight through it in a nanosecond instead of hours or weeks, right? There's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hologram that I'm going to say, ha, 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 and I can get beat up for this. I'm sure I will be. That keeps us in that perpetual pattern instead of actually breaking the magnetic, right? There's lots of therapies, there's lots of ways to do things that have kept us in the loop instead of neutralizing the magnetic and then changing that magnetic so that it actually changes what shows up in the reality. There's many clearing processes that have happened that didn't actually clear at the quantum level. And so this is where we're going so that we can neutralize those and get them upshifted in a frequency within your own body, which, ha ha ha, changes the outer reality again into a new level and helps the collective as well. So we're going to do a deep dive into actually how to walk through those processes and how to understand that magnetic and what it really means. Quit putting so many labels on it and internally know how to go in and ask and clear it throughout the entire deep dive, every expression. And then call back your unique signature frequency and demagnetize it from that lower expression. And then bring it into a higher frequency. So that's the deep dive. It's going to be hopefully really illuminating for those who want to join me and something you can go and do on your own daily if you need to, right? I'm going to walk away giving you tools how to do this. You're a master. Step into it. Become your quantum self. Clear this and let's get on with the party. I'm ready for the after party. I'm ready for the after party. Let's get this all cleared up so that that bliss and that joy that is our natural birthright isn't, there's no magnetics to hold on to. There's nothing else to hold that lower distortions on.
I'm feeling it. I love it. I got the goosebumps, and we invite our beautiful audience to join us. You know, if this resonates with you, this is powerful work. Raquel is a powerful master healer, quantum ascension accelerator, and she's here in her journey doing an extraordinary job. So please check it out and join us. It's going to be powerful. And should I say life-changing? I'll say world-changing. We are here to change the world.
We are. One inner journey at a time.
I love that. One inner journey at a time. Raquel, thank you for this upliftment today. We have gained so much from this conversation, just 1 hour with you, and we are shifted. I'm feeling so good. And I'm really feeling, again, I'll say it one more time. I'm excited to go look at those triggers. I've been looking at, it seems like recently, just in the past couple of months, there's been stuff coming up. We've had solar flares, we've had the eclipse. There's so much more going on that we're hearing about. And it's, again, to assist us to get to this space even more. So with all that that is bringing up, we now have powerful tools, thanks to you and spiritual teachers on this path that are showing us the ease and graceful way to maneuver and navigate through this time. We came here for this, and I'm so grateful. So as we say goodbye, I just want to give you a moment for final wisdom.
Ah, It's all within. That's the final wisdom. You are a quantum being. Don't forget that. It's an inside job. It's a job that's worth doing. And we're so close. We're so close to major unlocking. And I do believe, again, I do believe it's going to be in the next several years that the massive change, the bifurcation, where will be those who will not see through the higher lenses that we do, that will experience a very different life journey because the inner work hasn't been done and they weren't aware. But then we build the bridge as we are existing in that higher frequency and the world begins to come back into the organic and express. We're the bridge to allow the rest of humanity to join us in the higher perspective. So never doubt who you are. Never doubt the magnificence of your mastery to be part of the bridge and the larger group of us here that are leading the way. And even in the every now moment, bring your hand to your heart, snap into that quantumness that you are, that higher awareness that this is not your normal bodysuit, just one of the characters. And let's get this done and have as much fun as we can. Again, we've been through enough. Let's clear it with as much joy, with as much ease as possible.
It keeps us going. It keeps us keeping on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Raquel Spencer. This has been powerful and highly magnetic. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. Again, you're invited to join Raquel in this beautiful webinar and accelerate your journey and learn these really powerful skills. Thank you, Raquel. We love you. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.